Hi, Hilma here, and I'm going to be talking about wrist pain that is not at all related to carpal tunnel, because a lot of people think that they see these pictures of carpal tunnel and somebody's got their hand and their wrist is in pain and there's lightning coming out or it's all red. No, that's not carpal tunnel syndrome at all if it's not accompanied, well, even if you do have. But carpal tunnel syndrome is numbness or tingling in the thumb, first finger, second finger, and part of the ring finger. If you don't have that, it's not carpal tunnel syndrome at all. But if you do have, but you've got wrist pain that happened within the last month and it hurts to do this or that or any other motion that you try to do and it hurts, first of all, don't do that motion. But second of all, it's not carpal tunnel syndrome at all. It's a sprain. What is a sprain? Sprain, as you probably know, is an injury to a ligament. You've overstretched your ligament, and ligaments are what connect bones to bones, and there's all kinds of wrist bones in there, and ligaments are elastic to a certain degree, and beyond that, they're not elastic anymore. So what you want to do is treat that like a sprain, and you can look up sprains. And some people have said, well, I've soaked it in Epsom salts and it didn't help. Well, first of all, you don't want warm water, and second of all, Epsom salts are fine for muscle fatigue, but they don't help sprains at all. So what does help? Icing is good. I've got the article I did on icing in the second section, and you can read that. You can put your wrist under cold water. And if you look up sprains, they'll say 20 minutes at a time. That may be a little overkill because you've got a very small area here, you know, not a lot of meat covering it. But you want to cool it down really good several times a day, and you can do that until the pain stops hurting. And ligaments are really slow to heal, so you got to be patient with them. And if you keep on doing the things that hurt, it's not going to get better very well. So you want to really baby your wrist. And what causes sprains? The most obvious thing is a sudden fall. You fall off a bicycle or fall on the ice or fall off your porch or your bar stool or whatever. That's pretty obvious. But sometimes it's not so obvious because it can happen, several things happening over a period of time, and also if you've had sprained wrists before, you're also more vulnerable. So what can happen over a period of days or weeks? You're using weights and the weight of the weight pulled your wrist down, or you walking the dog and the dog sees a squirrel and maybe you're picking up your kids and they squirm a little, or you're taking your dog to the vet and it's a big dog, whatever, you know, and things I can't even imagine can sprain your wrist. And it can, like I said, happen many little things, and all of a sudden, it hurts. So you want to treat it like a sprain, and you also want to baby it. You can get a wrist support or make something out of an ace bandage, so in case you're in a place where, especially if you're going to be doing something where you're vulnerable to moving that wrist, you don't want to do that. It's okay to move things that don't hurt, but just don't move your wrist. Now the same thing can happen with your thumb or fingers if you fall and jab them. You know, you land wrong and you hit your thumb and, you know, sprained your ligaments in there. And same type of healing process. You want to baby your thumb and don't do what hurts. And maybe a splint is a little overkill, but if it's a bad sprain, you want to splint that thumb so you're not doing things that hurt with it. And if it's a minor sprain, you might want to wrap it with tape to remind you not to be bending those, and you'll feel it in the joints. You know, the thumb pain we've talked about before with overuse of the thumb, that's in the muscle of the thumb, the thick muscles in the bottom. I'm talking about in between the joints where your ligaments are connecting the bone to bone. So I hope this has helped. And just to clarify, wrist pain. So, out.